Hello and welcome to Downriver Rescue Connection. I'm your host, Patty Radikovich, and it's my pleasure to bring you information on animal-related topics in the animal rescue community. On today's episode, we have with us Kelly Collins, and she is the Program Director for Roughneck Rescue. So welcome to the show, Kelly.
Hi, thank you for having us too. Thank you.
So can you tell us, what is Roughneck Rescue?
Roughneck Rescue, we rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome dogs in need. And typically the dogs that we take in are at-risk dogs that would otherwise be euthanized. Most of them have behavior issues. Some of them have medical issues. We take them in, we rehabilitate them, and get them ready to find new homes, and then that's what we do. And all of the dogs live with us in the house. Mm-hmm. We have a few that are out in a kennel with us, but most of them live in the house with us, so they have a family home type life that they're in with us, which
that's really great.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of places that can take dogs that have behavioral issues, so it's wonderful that you guys exist. So can you tell us, how did Roughneck Rescue start?
Well, Danny Davis is the president of Roughneck Rescue. He's also a dog behaviorist. He and I met at a local animal shelter. I started walking dogs there, and he was working there, and he was already working with families and their dogs that had behavior issues through canine behavior rehabilitation, which is another program that he works on. So he and I met there, and I just was so fascinated by dog behavior. I started following him around, and we started talking, and I've learned so much, and it's been about 3 years that we've known each other. And we just started talking, and we realized that having a rescue was something that we really wanted to do, so we just combined efforts, and it came about. And he was already taking in dogs, rehabilitating them, and finding them new homes before Roughneck Rescue was even formed. Okay. So he was doing that already. So we came together, we found a space, and here we are.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now we have Jenny up here with us. I don't know if she's going to be camera shy and if she's going to show us her face, but how is Jenny involved in this?
Well, Danny was actually at the Huron Valley Humane Society. He went to rescue another dog, and I think when he was leaving, they handed him this little 4-week-old, 4-pound little puppy and said, "Here, you need to take her too." And he couldn't leave her there, so he took her, and she's been with Danny her whole life, which is about 4.5 years now. And she's actually a permanent member of the Roughneck Pack, and she has excellent social skills, so she's really helpful with dogs that come into the rescue, teaching them how to play, because some of the dogs come in, they've never been around other dogs, or they have issues with other dogs, whether it's fear or whatever it is. So she's very helpful in teaching dogs how to play, how when play's done, we stop play. She doesn't let it get too escalated, and she'll not get in a fight. She'll walk away.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's really a sweet girl, and she's our mascot.
Great.
Yeah.
So the name Roughneck Rescue, where'd that name come from?
Well, like I had said before, Danny had already been doing rescue and rehabilitating and rehoming dogs, and he nicknamed his pack Roughnecks. He just called them Roughnecks because they, they all came from troubled past. They, just were like all scrappy kind of dogs. So he just started calling them Roughnecks. So when it came time to come up with a name for our rescue, it was kind of a natural fit, Roughneck Rescue, because we're not breed specific.
Okay.
So yeah, most of our dogs are just like scrappy, rough and tumble kind of, roughnecks.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you've already talked just a little bit about Roughneck and how you guys are unique in the fact that you do the rehab and that they are in a home environment. So can you expand more on that? Like, what really makes you guys different than regular rescues that you see that just take dogs from the shelters and adopt them out?
I would say the main thing that makes us vastly different is Danny is a dog behaviorist, and he lives with the dogs 24/7. He stays at the shelter the whole time, so he is there guiding their behavior, teaching them how to go through life. And so I think that is really what makes us different. We don't just bring dogs in and I don't know, try and work with them a little bit. It's 24/7. And he's there to correct any behaviors that need to be corrected. I mean, I won't say there's never any, scrappy fights or anything. There's not been any really bad fights, obviously, but, he is there to teach them how to live with other dogs, teach them how to live in a pack, because that's very important to be able to go into another home that has other animals. And so he is... I think that is like one of the biggest things that make us different, is having him as our president. And also the fact that we do have everybody in a home environment makes a big difference as well, because they know, I think sometimes if dogs are in a shelter where they're just living in kennels, they might not have the opportunity to know how to live in a home, or what's appropriate, even if it's just getting in the trash or getting up on the counter. If those kind of behaviors start, we can correct those immediately. So, and it just, it's I don't know.
So you guys are like a home-based shelter, which is a little bit different, because typically what you have is you have shelters where the animals are in cages, or you have foster-based rescue, and those animals are in foster homes. And you guys don't do foster homes because of the nature of the dogs that you bring in, but instead, like, you've kind of combined this all together so that your home, your sanctuary is the foster home for these dogs, so that they can learn how to be in a home, that they can learn to be with the pack, and that they're not in the kennel system that you'd see in a regular shelter. So it's kind of combining both of them. So.
Yeah, it is combining, and I don't know if I mentioned earlier, some of the dogs that we do bring in, we will keep them with us for the rest of their life, whether it's behavior issues or medical issues. If Danny doesn't feel comfortable after so long of a time that the behaviors are going to be able to be corrected, and they might be okay when they're with him or in our home environment, but if he's not 100% comfortable, that if the dog goes into another home with another pack leader, that they might not, they may revert back to their behaviors before, like they were before. So we have, right now, I think we have 12 dogs that will stay with us for the rest of their life, including, and Jenny too. So, so for different reasons.
Right.
So.
Okay, so if a dog obviously is coming to your facility and they need some help and he's working with them and rehab them, he's not going to adopt the animal out until it's a balanced dog.
Right.
However, we all know that you can have a balanced dog at your house and you can go to somebody else's house and it may not quite end up being that way because of what the new owner is doing. So how do you prevent that from happening, or what's your adoption process like, so that somebody can't just come in and walk in and say, I want this dog? That doesn't happen with you guys. So what is your adoption process like? How is it different to make sure that they're going to continue on the same type of training that Danny's put into the dogs?
That's a really good question and a good point, because like you said, we don't just adopt a dog to someone because they come up at an adoption event, let's say, and oh, that's such a cute dog, I want to take him. We would never just adopt a dog out that way. We have an online application that someone would need to fill out. That is kind of the first step that they would need to do, and we call references, and we do home checks. So that's part of it, but the bigger part of it is the human would need to come out to the center, work with Danny, be with Danny and the dog. If there's more family members in the home, they would all need to come. If they have any other dogs, they would need to come. So, and even then, it's not like an instant adoption. We want to make sure that the energy of the dog and the family or the human all match. That, it's very, I guess, subjective to how Danny sees that it's going to work out with them. And then he will work with the family or the human, the one human, one-on-one before the dog goes home, just teaching them basic behavior, teaching them about exercise, leadership, and then affection, because we tend to want to give our dogs affection, and that often creates issues, behavior issues. So we really want to teach them that guiding your dog through life with the formula of exercise, leadership, and then affection is the best way to go about having a balanced dog. So he'll work with them one-on-one, and then once we send the dog home with him, they can always call us if they are having any questions, or if they, see like something's not going how they had thought it was supposed to go, or so they can always call us, and then they can always come back out to the center and work with us one-on-one or in a group. We also have workshops that we have people come and bring their dogs and work on the behavior issues they have, and then we always invite the people who have adopted dogs out from us to come anytime they want to, for as long as they need to.
Okay, great.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's good because it's a good reminder too, because as a rescue, I know we always get asked, well, why do you have an application? Why do I have to fill out an application? Or why do you have to check my references? And it's, and for us, it's like, well, obviously we've taken the animal in, we've put the time in with the animal, we want to make sure the animal's a good fit, that it's not going to be returned, that it's a good home.
Yeah.
And even more so for what you guys are doing, because obviously the animals have had a rough existence previously, and there's been a lot of work that is put into now make these dogs adoptable, and so you want to make sure that they get in with the right home and don't revert back. And so
yeah, that is one thing that we're really concerned about, and is not having the dogs going in and out of shelters. So we really want to make sure that it's a really good, solid fit before we adopt a dog out. And as you know, it's hard adopting a dog out. I get sad every time. And so, we really want to be comfortable with the family, and we stay in touch with everybody. I think also the first step of having this application that they need to fill out, it's not, just a couple of questions. It's kind of lengthy. There's quite a bit of information we ask for. It's almost kind of like a commitment that they make. Okay, I'm really serious about doing this, and I really want to do whatever I need to do to take a dog in. So that's our first step.
Okay. Well, I think that one of the dogs you brought for adoption is very anxious to be on screen, unlike Jenny. So why don't we have Rambo come on over, and then you can tell us about Rambo's story.
Hey. This is Rambo. He and his brother Luke were seized in an animal cruelty case from the local police department. He's a great dog. He's about 2 years old, 1.5, 2 years old. Has medium energy. He's a go anywhere, do anything kind of a dog. He's very he gets along with everybody, and he's just beautiful. And he was so excited to come with me today. I didn't know where he was going, but he was just really excited.
Like, I get to go in the car.
I know. He's just very adventurous, and he wants to, like I said, he wants to just do everything. He's a really great dog. So he's available for adoption. So they can find information about him on our website, and also on Pet Finder. There's information about Rambo out there, huh, buddy?
People are getting a great shot of his tail wagging. The dogs never want to show their face when you want them to.
I know. So this is Rambo. Let's see if we can get his face in here. There you go, buddy.
There we go.
Yeah, it's a good boy. He's a great dog. He's a really good dog. He'll make a great family pet.
All right, so now you brought one more with you that's up today for adoption.
Yeah.
And this is Hulk, correct?
Come here, yep.
And he's actually part of a set of 3, but they don't all have to be adopted together, right?
Come here, bud. Shh. Come here. Yes, now Hulk is, he has a sister and a brother. They were found abandoned in the woods. They were tiny little things. They had severe mange, so they were basically bald. So we got them in September. We've nursed them back to health. They're really beautiful. They're about 8 months old now, and they're neutered and spayed. They're up to date on all the shots, as is Rambo too. So this is Hulk, and like I said, there's another boy, Danny. He's not quite ready to be adopted, and then they have a little sister named Sissy. And he's a brindle. Sissy's a little bit more solid, reddish. But they can also be found on our website as well.
Okay,
So
great.
they had a rough start, but they've really made such an amazing comeback, and we put a lot of time and effort into making them healthy, and they're just amazing dogs. It's been quite a journey with these three.
Great.
It's awesome, yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for showing us Hulk, and we should thank him for cooperating.
Yeah, he's doing really
The viewers
good.
can actually get a good look at him.
Yeah.
So now you have 12 that you said are members of your permanent pack. So how many do you have available for adoption? Like, how many dogs do you usually have at a time?
Right now, we can hold about 18 dogs.
Okay.
And we have 4 that are available right at the moment for adoption. So we want to eventually expand to where we can have more space for dogs, but really 18 is kind of our limit, our max at the moment.
Okay, and the reason I also want to bring this up is because I want the viewers to understand that you guys are obviously very limited intake, and you only have a certain amount of space because of the types of dogs that you're getting, and also because just the environment that you're in, it's in a home environment. So I don't want people thinking that they can just call you with any problem dog and say, you need to take my dog. Now if somebody does call you, how do you typically respond to somebody's phone call that says, yep, my dog's aggressive, can you take him?
Well, what we really like to do is to try and help people to keep the dog in the home. We'd rather be able to help them to remedy those behavior problems so that they don't have to feel like they have to surrender their dog. So that's what we like to do, is talk with them and see just exactly what's going on, and then see if we can come up with a program to help them.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. And that's what, and we've expressed this before, that's what our group does as well, is if
Okay.
somebody calls us, unless there is an abuse situation or certain specific situations where you do have to remove the animal, the best place we feel is in the home that it's currently in, and so you just want to work with them and provide them resources and help them resolve their issues so they can keep the dog.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be the best solution all around, is to help people before they even get to a point where they feel like that's their only option. They call us in a frantic state, and we get these phone calls every day. I just don't know what to do. I got to give my dog away, and I have no other option. So we like to help people before they get to that point.
Right. So where typically do your dogs come from then?
Well, we don't have one specific place that they come from. We've gotten owner surrenders from people just calling us. We've taken dogs in from Sumter Animal Control, from Monroe Animal Control. We've driven to Kalamazoo and took a dog in from there. That's pretty much it. We're kind of local in that, and then we also work closely with Friends of Michigan Animals Rescue, because they don't take bully breed dogs. So if several times we've gotten calls from the animal control that's local and said we have a lab and a pit mix, and the lab will go to Friends of Michigan, and then the pit mix will come to us. So we work with them closely too. So.
Okay, and then you guys are also, you go to different events, correct? Like different festivals and...
Yes, we have 3 standing events every month. We are at Tractor Supply in Saline. We're also at Petco in Ann Arbor, and then we're also at Feed Right Pet Supplies in Belleville. So we go there with dogs that are available for adoption, just to get the dogs out, just to meet people, just get them in and out of the car and that kind of thing. And we go there to talk to people about Roughneck Rescue and what we do and who we are. So we do the 3 of those every month, and then we do also go to Pet Emporium a couple times, 2 or 3 times a year, and we're at Pet Fest. So yeah, that's what we
and
do.
so because your sanctuary is a private sanctuary, it's not open to the public. So
That's true.
if people wanted to find you or look at the dogs, they can go online to your website, and you'd have all those listed there.
Yes, that's
Okay.
exactly it. They can come out and see us, and you can always call. They can always call and find out. If they can't find it on the website for some reason, they can always call us or send us an email, and And then, you know, we do have people come out, and if they are interested in someone, like if someone sees Halt today and say, oh, you know, he looks like a great dog, I want to come meet him, we have them call. They can call us and make an appointment and come out and meet him in person. You know.
Okay, so now what about volunteers?
Well, because of the kind of dogs that we do get, dogs with behavior issues, and the liability aspect of it, we don't have people just coming and going into our space. We do need volunteer help at our adoption events. We need volunteer help for fundraising. So really, at this point in time, we don't have a volunteer program to come out and work with the animals. But of course, there's plenty of poop to always pick up. So, you know, if they want to do that, they can. I'm just kidding, but
you got to start sometimes.
Right. So that's the deal with the volunteers. But we do need help. We're not saying that we're beyond needing assistance, because we can always use more hands, more people, you know, especially at the events. If we want to bring more than a couple of dogs, we like to have like one human per dog. So right now we're kind of maxed out at taking 3 dogs.
Okay, yeah, and we want viewers to realize as well that if they really want to work with the animals one-on-one, then you have to go volunteer at a shelter, because that's where the animals are. Otherwise, most rescues are foster-based rescues, and people generally aren't going to have you come into their home and work with the animals there. Or you do it at you can do it at events too. So if you want to work with the animal, if you don't like going into the shelter system, then hooking up with a rescue and knowing that you'll be working with the animals only at events that are on site, that's what we want to get across to people. Okay. So because there are some people that they don't like going into the shelters because emotionally it's too difficult for them, but then they still want to work with animals. And we tell people the same thing. Well, we'd love you to come and play with my cats, but they're in my home. So.
Right. And that's a good point that you bring up too about the foster aspect of it. We don't use fostering because of the same thing with the behavior issues. Not saying that there aren't other people out there that could take a dog and rehabilitate them, but if we take them into our rescue, we're responsible for them and responsible for getting them rehabilitated to a point where they can find a new home. So if we take a dog in, it stays with us until it's ready.
Okay,
so,
great.
Yeah.
I hear Rambo really wants to come back on set, so we can let him come back out here. We're getting
come here, Boo. Oh.
So, are there any messages that you'd really like people to know about your rescue, or about dogs in general?
Here we go. Gosh, about our rescue. Well,
You want to come up here?
I would say that for me, just being able to have this in my life, and to be able to have had, not to even really know that I had this dream of doing this, but to be able to actually make it come true, and to be able to help dogs, and it's just an amazing experience. So I would say if anyone has that dream, just to follow it, and they can make it happen. It's not easy, and believe me, it's, as you know, it's tough work. It's a lot of hours, and I have a full-time job too. So thank goodness Danny stays at the at the center. And
come here, Rambo. Well, that's good. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Sorry, we're getting tangled up in dogs here.
So really, that's all I wanted to say was that if someone wants to do a rescue at their home or whatever, that just to follow their dream.
And see, finally everybody gets to see Jenny. Okay, so that's a good message. And yeah, if people want to do, there's a lot of people out there that are available to help you guys figure it out. You start off by volunteering somewhere. That's where you said Danny started off volunteering.
Yeah.
So you just start off volunteering somewhere, and if that's your goal, then that's what you choose to do. So
yeah, he started actually at Huron Valley Humane Society walking dogs, and then he started taking dogs in that came there that were going to be euthanized, and it just kind of snowballed to where he all of a sudden had 10 dogs. So there's plenty of animals out there that need help, and if everyone could do something like this, it would be wonderful. So I feel really thankful that this has come into our life and that we're able to do this.
Great.
So.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to come out and
Thank you
talk to us on the
so
show. So thank you very much. And
Thank
thanks
you.
for bringing the dogs. So if anybody is interested in either Rambo or Hulk or any of the other dogs they have, you can check out their website. We all look forward to your day when all pets are treated like family and everyone has a home. Until that time, we invite you to be part of the solution. And remember, please spay and neuter your pets. See you next time.